Hey, fourth graders. For today for English class, we're going to be looking at using prepositional phrases. So for our introduction here, we have a sentence that says the band concert will be at night. So the question is, what is the preposition in this sentence? And if you have your list of prepositions memorized, you will notice right away that at is the preposition. What is the object of the preposition? Well, the object is always the noun that comes after the preposition. So in this sentence, it would be night. Is night a noun or a pronoun? Night is a noun. Remember, pronouns are words like he, she, it, we, they, him, her, it, us, them, those types of words. So a prepositional phrase begins with a preposition and it ends with the object of the preposition, and it includes all of the words between them. So in the sentence, California's lighthouses are built on rough shores, we have the prepositional phrase on rough shores. On is the preposition, shores is the object of the preposition or the noun, and then the word in the middle, rough, is an adjective. So prepositional phrases have prepositions, adjective, and then the noun, or it just has preposition and noun. Prepositional phrases give more information about other parts of the sentence, and they can expand sentences and make them more interesting. So in the sentence, these lighthouses are not very old. We don't have any prepositional phrases. But when we add prepositional phrases, you can see it changes the sentence and gives us a more vivid picture of what's happening and more information. These lighthouses in California are newer than lighthouses in other parts of the world or of the country. And so you've added 3 prepositional phrases here that can make the sentence more interesting and tell us more information. So on your page today, you're going to put parentheses around the prepositional phrases in each sentence. One sentence has 2 prepositional phrases, and you can look at page 348 in your handbook to find the list of prepositions. California lighthouses are frequently covered in fog. In fog is our prepositional phrase. Number 2, the Point Reyes Lighthouse is in a foggy area. In a foggy area. Each year, it is in fog for 9 months. We have in fog for 9 months. See, if you don't have your preposition list memorized, it's going to be really tricky for you to figure out where the prepositions are. You need to memorize that list. Please make sure you're practicing with that song on YouTube, reading over the list in your handbook. Okay, number 4. Point Reyes is the windiest promontory in America. In America, prepositional phrase. Point Reyes extends into the ocean. Into the ocean, prepositional phrase. Then you're going to add a prepositional phrase to expand each sentence. So you could say, the clown laughed at the other clown. You could say, the clown with the big red nose laughed at all the animals in the circus. Add a bunch of prepositional phrases. The dog barked at the mailman. You could say, the dog with the long shaggy fur barked at the squirrel that ran across the fence. You could add all kinds of stuff to those sentences, so please do that. And then on the back of the page, you do the same thing. Mark your prepositional phrases. Add prepositional phrases to each sentence. You have to make sure you're not just adding words to the sentence. You're adding prepositional phrases. It has to start with the preposition. At, in, of, off, on, over, past, since, through, throughout. All of those prepositions, adding those with the noun, adding prepositional phrases. You're not going to just say, my funny dad works. Well, you just added an adjective there. You have to add the whole prepositional phrase. Then down at the bottom, you're going to put parentheses around any prepositional phrases that you write in your sentence talking about lighthouses. Okay, now let's look at our reading. Today you're reading a story called The Peapod Man. The Peapod Man is an Eskimo creation myth. And in this story, it was retold and illustrated by these people here. So it's a myth, means it's a made-up story. but it's a myth about creation. So you're going to see elements of the true creation story mixed into this myth. This is an Eskimo creation myth that portrays the creator as a raven that can change itself into a man. Raven creates a pea vine, and to Raven's surprise, a man emerges from a pea pod. Raven feeds the man with berries, then creates animals by molding them from clay. When he sees man looking at the animals with delight, he becomes worried that man will kill all the animals for food. He makes a bear so that there will be an animal man fears. Then, anticipating man's loneliness, he creates a woman. Man and woman have a child, and all the life on the earth grows and thrives. So you can see there's elements that are based on the true biblical account of creation in this myth that the Eskimos created, but there's a lot of other added things that are not true things. Vocabulary for this story, we've got pooled, refreshed, thrived, and watercress. If something pooled when I put it in the container, would it be a powder or a liquid? It would be a liquid, a pool, like a swimming pool. If a girl was refreshed after a nap, did she feel energetic or sleepy? She feels energetic. If my plants thrive in the heat, do they wither or do they grow strong and tall? If they thrive, they're growing strong and tall. If watercress is used in salads, is it a leafy plant or a spiny cactus? Probably be a leafy plant. So a myth is a fictional story often used to explain a culture's beginnings or events in nature. The actions of gods or goddesses in a myth affect people's lives. Many cultures of the world have created their own myths. And you'll remember earlier this year we read the myth called the woman or the mother who lost her daughter. There was from the Greek culture, and it was about how the seasons were created, you know, that fake story building on where something comes from. That's what a myth is. So the big idea today is people have many explanations about the creation of man, but only God's account of creation is true. So as you read through here today, you want to be careful to watch out for what is false and what is true. And you're going to read pages 612 through 616. Please be sure you read page 612. It gives you the background information about the story before you start. Then, after you finish reading this story, you're going to work on pages 243 and 244 in your workbook. And as you look at these pages, you will see that you need to write the correct word to complete the definition. You can find that definition by looking back at page 612 where it talks about a myth. Then mark the correct answer from the story. Then on the back, write the letter of the fact that the raven demonstrates by his words or action, and write how a Bible truth has been twisted. How did they change the Bible truth in the story? And then write the correct vocabulary word that would fit into those sentences. And as you work on spelling today, you'll be on page 120, where you have to do some proofreading. You need to mark the phrase that's spelled correctly. Well, then underneath, you need to mark, again, the words that are spelled correctly. If all the words are spelled correct, you'll pick all correct.